All right, it is once again my favorite time of the evening, and that is beer and camera talk. And today we're going to be talking about the Panasonic GH5 paired up with the Meike 12mm t2.2 cinema piece of glass, coming in roughly at about $400. I've had this bad boy now for roughly 6 months. I want to give you guys my thoughts, the pros, the cons, the good and the bad, coming up next. So coming in at roughly $400, this 12mm cine piece of glass for Micro Four Thirds shooters, I think it's going to be pretty useful. Now let me give you a little bit of background in regards to, before I did shoot with this particular setup, I tended to use the Metabone Speed Booster paired up with Canon EF mount glass. Now I still think this is an amazing combination, but the reason that I bring this up compared to this is really just going to be price. We're talking roughly about $1,400 all in on this setup in my hand, whereas the Meike 12mm, which gets an absolutely beautiful image, is coming in at $400. First off, this thing is an absolute beast. It weighs a ton, but I've dropped it several times, doing some gimbal shots, and... See it again. Probably don't want that. Not on purpose, but it has taken those drops, those falls, and has really held up well. Other things that are going to be absolutely nice about this, particularly for Micro Four Thirds shooters or just really cinematographers in general, is going to be the T-stop, and the actual focus pull and the actual aperture pull is just super smooth. And that T2.2 on the Micro Four Thirds is going to be nice. As far as low light goes, is it going to be the Sony a7S III? No, but you're going to find yourself in most situations where dropping it down to that T2.2, you're still going to get an absolutely beautiful image. And here's some footage that I actually shot outside with this particular setup. So now that you guys have gotten a chance to see what footage looks like outside, I do want to give you a little bit of an example of what interview footage would look like, and even what footage would look like in this exact setup. So let's go ahead and dive right into that footage. So the footage that you guys are looking at is a combination of the Panasonic GH5 with the Meike 12mm t2.2, both shooting in the studio space, not only the traditional space, but also the black background, not only myself, but my mother-in-law. And last and definitely not least, how does this particular setup function for B-roll? I've got a perfect beer montage for you guys to see how this bad boy functions when shooting B-roll. Now I do want to kind of give a small disclaimer with this being this prime lens. It has no image stabilization. Now paired up with the Panasonic GH5, you can throw on IBIS, and I do find that to be a huge advantage in regards to run and gun situations. Now if you're going to be shooting slow-mo, I really think it's not going to be that big of a difference, but if you're going to be shooting 24 or 30 frames per second handheld, definitely having that IBIS, or at least kind of locking yourself into place, is going to be a huge bonus. Now, the fact that this lens does weigh so much, it does give your camera a little bit more of a beefier field, and I find that as long as you're nice and tucked in there, you're going to get pretty smooth footage. Now that we've kind of looked at footage, discussed this piece of glass, discussed the price against the whole Metabones and the Comlight setup, let's go ahead and talk about really one or maybe two of the few cons in regards to this piece of glass. And the first con, it's really just going to be sheer weight, and I think that's something that in the beginning I wasn't used to. It was kind of caught me off guard that now the camera went from being super light to now kind of extremely front heavy. So when it comes to the Meike 12mm t2.2 piece of glass coming in at $400, my overall opinion is that unless you want to stay on the EF mount and I completely understand that. I do have a hard time figuring out if I'm going to invest more in Micro Four Thirds or if I want to go the full frame route. But if you are definitely locked into Micro Four Thirds systems, you want a pro piece of glass at a what I would consider extremely reasonable price point. I do think the Meike 12mm, the 16mm, the 35, the 50, and the 85, I've looked at them all. As far as image goes, it's absolutely beautiful. Functionality is fantastic. And if you have a focus puller, it's also going to be really nice in regards to this cinema, kind of these teeth. Going to be great, going to be super easy for a lot of you guys to get beautiful footage out of most of your Micro Four Thirds cameras. You guys, drop a comment in the comment section below of what you think of the footage, the setup, the price, overall opinions. While this is mine, I want to hear yours. And hey guys, it's Trey Lowell with Lowell Productions, and as always, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like the content I keep creating on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. And I hope you guys enjoyed some of that footage. I just really wanted you to get a really good look and feel of how this footage coming out of the Panasonic GH5 looks. And yeah, comment in the comment section below if you own one of these pieces of glass or maybe you're in the market. I'd love to give you guys my feedback or answer any questions that you have. Peace.